Hello, you wonderful time travelers out there. Welcome back to Homeschool Together. Thank you for joining us. We have left our science exploring in the past now, and we are moving on to the next level of science. It's now the winter and spring of science, and we are continuing this. We're fusing together science and history, and we're doing prehistory, and doing a kind of a condensed version from the one we've done before. We did this curriculum before, where we went back. Explored the origins of life, the origins of Earth, and kind of told that story all the way through up until the early Stone Age, kind of Neolithic period of man. So it's that type of time period where we're talking about 4.5 billion years ago, all the way up to this, the rise of civilizations, and then that leads us into our ancient civilizations. And so we're taking this kind of 12-week or 13-week.
Just 12 weeks.
12 weeks, and we're going to be studying this prehistory period, which is going to encompass all the whole history of the Earth in 12 weeks. Perfect amount of time. That's all it needs to be. And we're doing that with our first grader, halfway through her first grade year and halfway through our fourth grade year, so our two daughters. And we're going to carry them through this, and we're going to finish sometime in the spring, which will give us a great springboard into ancient civilizations. Now, we've done this curriculum before. It was a little bit longer than 12 weeks this time.
Right.
Well, so what is the fusion? What is the fusion dance for all you Dragon Ball Z fans?
So it's Blossom and Roots, grade 3 science. Grade 3 science is Wonders of the Animal Kingdom, and there's like a science extension, which is Wonders of the Prehistoric World, that one. And so there's that science piece, and then Build Your Library has a prehistory unit study, which is 6 weeks.
And both of these are great.
They're great.
They're great alone. They're great together. Whatever you choose, you want to do.
The reason that we've put them together, the very short reason, is just because Blossom and Root focuses a lot more on dinosaurs and everything before that, and they get into the rise of humans and stuff in Ice Age. It's not that they don't, but there's such great science work done from all these Precambrian age and all these different things that I had no idea about before we did this the first time around. Build Your Libraries is more getting you ready to springboard into ancients, and so it focuses much more on man. It does talk about dinosaurs. It does talk about creation of the universe and formation of Earth and stuff, but it's really condensed. It's very short, and it gets right into humans. So it's really great to put them together because they overlap a little bit, but mostly they do a good job of focusing on different areas. So that's why we put them together in the past. What I didn't like about it in the past was it ended up being a little long. It felt a little long in the tooth by the time we got done with it. And so this time we wanted to keep it nice and tight, 12 weeks, which I think is going to be really good.
I think so too.
And we're making some strategic condensing in different places. Where we feel like there's not maybe as much information there, or maybe we're just going, at some point, we love how deep Blossom and Root goes into dinosaurs, don't get us wrong, but eventually you're like, I'm kind of dinosaured out, and then it's like, let's come back to marine dinosaurs, and so we're going to try to make that a little bit tighter. Now, that being said, if your kiddo is all into dinosaurs, then by all means,
extend, expand, and dive deep.
Do 6 weeks of dinosaurs and have fun. But that's why we're condensing it this time. We think that that's going to be a little bit better for our girls. It's going to flow a little bit quicker and get us to where we want to be. So that's the first part of what we're doing.
And the dual ages, it's going to be a theme that's always going to be carrying forward in all of our stuff. And we know a lot of people talk about, okay, I do this curriculum with my student and their third grade level or fourth grade level. That is going to be kind of a wrinkle for you to know, is that we're always carrying both our daughters together at the same curriculum. So we may work something down. This is obviously year 3 curriculum, so we may be pulling some information down for our younger first grader. We may also be leveling up some information for our fourth grader to try to meet the needs and where they are at their learning levels. That is always going to be a theme of ours. So it's going to be something that we focus on. It's something that we plan for. It's something that we have in the back of our head always whenever we're doing a curriculum, is we're never going to be hitting right on age range. It's almost it's nearly impossible to do that anyways. We all know our learners are at different levels and they all have different needs. So it's always very hard to say, I have a third grader. Well, I have a third grader who does this, and I have a third grader who's more down here, and all that type of stuff. So it's really hard to be right on point. But that being said, We will always be doing this. And so that's a nice wrinkle for you to remember, maybe to share with other families who also have that kind of an age range. We are not going to run 2 curriculums in parallel. I do not have the time. I do not have the bandwidth.
I don't have the mental capacity to run 2 different time periods. Those of you doing 2 different levels of Build Your Library at once, whew, and you guys are heroes, because I can't do it.
Physically, I don't know, tell me at home, how do you chain up one child so that you can spend an hour reading the book to this one kid and then chain that kid up so that you can then spend the time to read the books here? I can't do that. So I want to bring them together, ask them the age-appropriate questions as we're reading through the material, have them do age-appropriate materials, and have me do the leveling, and then keep the content, keep the theming and keep the flow and the scope and sequence that is a challenge for me to put together on the fly. That's why we love things like Blossom and Root, why we love things like Build Your Library.
Even if we're going to make adaptions, which we always do.
And who doesn't? I mean, most homeschool families, we never do exactly the thing.
But having something that we can build on is it's so worth the cost to have that, to say, okay, here's what they did, here's what's going to work for my family.
It's easier to edit than write.
And so for us, for example, one of the things that we're going to be doing is we're going to be bringing in a writing and research component for our older daughter. We've been working on writing with her, and we're working on her ability to start doing her own research. So that's going to be a theme each week, that we're going to have something that we want her to do a little bit of light research, and do, fill out a little worksheet that we've made about, like, for the first week, for example, it's going to be learning about a fossil found in Washington State where we are, and what kind of animal was it? What was it? Major features of that animal or plant or whatever it was. And it's like 1 page, so it's not a lot, but it's just trying to level her up a little bit. On the other hand, our younger daughter, she's really hands-on. So this time around, when we did this the last time, our younger daughter was in preschool, so she was just kind of along for the ride. And our older daughter loves to be read to, so we could read to her all day long. She'll just sit there and let us read and read and read until we can't talk anymore. But our younger daughter has no patience for that. She's okay with a little bit of, she likes books and she's okay with a bit of reading, but she doesn't have patience for book after book after book. So this isn't going to be as book heavy as what we did before. This is going to be focused a lot more on hands-on activities.
Absolutely.
How can we do a hands-on craft or science experiment or something that really helps to bring these topics to life for her. And it will have a lot more art, because our older daughter, not that much into art, and our younger one, very into art.
Loves art, loves the art.
So there's going to be a lot more art, hands-on, different types of hands-on crafts and activities, experiments and that kind of stuff. So this is going to look a little bit different than the last time we did it, but we're going to be going week by week. The other thing that we came out with from our space science was that we're a part of this.
Exactly, and
involve us.
Keeping the momentum, keeping the interest level from the educator standpoint is a great way to keep that the energy up for the kids as well, especially if we are learning about the topics, we're feeling connected to the material, helping us get motivated on a daily basis. Consuming resources and materials, whether they're videos or a podcast or reading a book, whatever works best for you and how much time you have, being connected to the learning along with your students is a great way to keep yourself as an educator connected to the material, to be passionate about what you're learning about, what you're teaching about. And that is something we've been doing now for the last year or so, and it's just really been very invigorating. I mean, yes, we all have the dredges, we all have I'm exhausted at the end of the day. We totally get that, and everybody gets that. I'm not saying this is like the magic cure-all, but it's just a really cool wrinkle that you can enjoy and bring yourself into the learning. I think it's great. I ran into a mom the other day, and she was reading a book. It was the stories book, the
Land of Stories?
Land of Stories. And I said, oh, my oldest daughter loves that. She goes, yeah, it was recommended for my son, and I thought about starting to read it. And she's reading it, and she goes, man, these kids' books are really good. I'm like, yeah, I know. So feeling that connection to the material is something that just gets you excited about what's going on, and that's going to help get you asking the questions and getting them thinking about and doing a lot of critical thinking if you're connected to the material. So awesome thing to bring in, and we'll give you suggestions and ideas. You can take those. Maybe you could try something else, whatever it might be. Try to get into the learning as well.
And there's new media and things that have come out since the last time we did this.
Absolutely.
Prehistoric Planet had just come out on Apple Plus last time, right at the very, very end. And this time, I think there's a season 2 of it. So there's going to be more resources, new media. which we're really excited about. And we're going to do our best to try to bring in something that we can all consume every week together as a family, whether it's like a Prehistoric Planet episode or something. Especially,
or really good Eons video or PBS Eons video.
Those videos are fantastic.
They are.
And just so that you know, if you are using Blossom and Root and you want to use, it's worth buying just for the Eons video links because they're amazing. Just so you know the titles of them. You can get those on YouTube without having to go through the PBS app and pay for them. They're still from PBS Eon's channel on YouTube. They're not like third party, but just know that you can go to YouTube for those, because I think a lot of people don't know that, and they're like trying to get it to work on PBS, and the PBS, it's only on your desktop, and you want to watch it on your TV, you can just do it on YouTube. So FYI.
Absolutely.
So I think this is going to be really good. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to sharing with all of you how we're condensing this. I think 12 weeks is going to be a really good amount of time.
Yeah.
You know, this isn't going to be a full year thing. It's going to be great. By the time we're done, we're going to be right ready to pick up with the very first towns and settlements, starting with domestication of animals and all those things that were kind of just, it flows so beautifully into ancient civs.
I've never seen two curriculums just like, they're just perfect to mesh. Like, build your library, Ancient Civilizations is the perfect thing to do right at the end of this.
Right, because it's just, you're like kind of already in that
This
flow.
is like the prequel to...
And coming, and if you're watching this in advance, and you're even earlier than this, coming to this right after space science is a really great natural flow as well. And coming to it after doing an around the world study, if you have done that in kindergarten. So it's like, they have a sense of the world is a big place, and then all this stuff about the planets and the universe and all the things they've learned about it. Now it's like, okay, so now you've got some kind of context. Let's go back and start telling the story of everything.
Yeah.
And that's really cool, I think.
Well,
I'm excited.
I mean, the thread that we're telling is it's the unbroken chain of life from the beginning to now. And really
cool.
like needling in on that is just like, this story started 2.5-3 billion years ago. Earth started about 4.5 billion years ago, and really telling this story is a story of us, right? Like, how do we get to here, and really just driving that home, and
all the animals that they see, and the plants that they see, and what did they evolve from, and it's fascinating. We're such nerds. We're so excited about it.
Especially in the Cambrian period and whatnot. Some of the critters look like aliens, and I love it because it is such a crazy thing. So really gets the imagination going. It's going to be great for art and activities.
And if you haven't done this before, what we found, at least when we did it, was your private school education and my public school education completely skipped over most of prehistory. It was like...
This was left on the chopping block.
It was like Big Bang, something crawls out of primordial ooze, dinosaurs, people. You know what I mean? There was all these different ages that there were, and all the eras and stuff like, millions and millions and millions of years, and we just glossed over it. So this is exciting if you haven't done this before. And there's so much to learn.
And how they tell that story, and how they figure out that story through fossils and the fossil records, piecing that chain of information together. When it gets extrapolated into a beautiful, a DK eyewitnessy type of book, and you're seeing all these cool critters, to know that is like hundreds of years of fossil discoveries and dating, and trying to figure out when did this creature was here, and how did this one related to another creature that we found over here, and the thousands and hundreds of thousands of creatures that have lived and told their story through the fossil record. It's just a fascinating tale
really cool.
to experience, and it's a really cool, it's a very humbling thing to go through and understand, like, wow, this is such a beautiful story that got us all the way to here. So anyway, I loved it. It's really, really cool. We hope you guys enjoy it. We're going to blog our way through it week by week as we go. And if we skip a week, we'll be back the following week, because that's what we do. But we'll see you guys next week. We're going to start week 1 this week, and we hope to see you.